reporting media. Here's your host, Mark Merrill.
Hi everyone, Mark Merrill with Firm. We are following up on the Ghislaine Maxwell situation and of course the Epstein Files here on Firm. What we have is a little bit clearer information, not too much more, but we're going to be reading a little bit of some excerpts from the article you see before you here. And what's going to happen is that as you can see by the article itself, there's lots of things still up in the air. Well, we're going to try and do our best here at Firm, as the national media seems to be tripping all over itself while drooling at the same time. Seems like there's been a lack of coverage of national regular news, like about the victims of the floodings in Texas. Duh. And of course, prosecutions on a regular basis and follow-ups on how many people are being deported thanks to the efforts of Tom Homan through the Department of Justice and ICE. But no, the files of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, who's being looks like is going to be tried in a court of law by Pam Bondi, Trump's Attorney General's office. Well, let's see what it has to say in the recent article that you see here, folks, from RTM, resistthemainstream.com. And we are going to go through just a little bit of it, but not in complete detail here. So Maxwell, the only person currently imprisoned in connection with the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, reportedly expressed willingness to testify before even Congress, not just be cross-examined by Attorney General Bondi. Ms. Maxwell is serving a 20-year sentence on child sex trafficking charges while remaining the sole individual behind bars, despite allegations that pedophile Epstein operated an extensive network involving underage girls. But the victims have alleged that they were passed around as sex toys to his wealthy friends and billionaire business associates who regularly visited his properties, including his private island, Little St. James. A source close to Ms. Maxwell revealed her position on potential congressional testimony, and despite the rumors, Ghislaine was never offered any kind of plea deal. This is according to the Daily News, or the Daily Mail, we should say, the Daily Mail. A source further emphasized Maxwell's isolation in the case, noting that no government officials have approached her for information. Now, isn't that interesting? No one from the government has ever asked her to share what she knows, they said. She remains the only person to be jailed in connection with Epstein, and she'd welcome the chance to tell the American people the truth. She was convicted in 2022 for her role in a scheme to sexually exploit and abuse multiple minor girls over the course of a decade. As we skip on down on this one, folks, the organization that is presenting this information or this article was back on July 14th, called Resist the Mainstream. They reported a few weeks ago that critics have highlighted significant gaps in the jailhouse video evidence, including a crucial missing minute that fails to show the door or interior of Epstein's jail cell. With the ongoing scandal and alleged cover-up have sparked unrest among President Trump's MAGA base, with some supporters calling for Bondi's removal after she appeared to retreat from promises to release the files. She's had them right along, ladies and gentlemen. Right along. On her desk. Not a good idea to treat this in a knee-jerk fashion. Oh, we need to see it right away. Jeez, guys, calm down. Especially mainstream media. Is your name on it? Obama? Hillary and Bill? Comey and Brennan? The losers and criminals of the Biden administration? Sharon Allen, a summit attendee of the most recent Student Action Summit in Tampa, Florida, said there's frustration within the current administrations of handling the situation. It's not even about Pam Bondi. They're trying to drag Donald Trump into it again. Surprise. But the Daily Mail further noted that a source close to Maxwell emphasized her continued willingness to cooperate with congressional investigations. Maxwell is simultaneously pursuing an appeal to the Supreme Court in the meantime, with government lawyers scheduled to submit their response on her or to her petition fairly soon. As far as Mr. Trump's involvement or name being dropped in some bawdy, as they call, situations while he met with Epstein once, I believe, as the information goes, according to Resist the Mainstream here. Mr. Elon Musk has claimed a cover-up exists because Trump appears in the files in a picture. Sources close to Maxwell dismissed this as a false flag, and according to an informed source, Trump's connection was limited and ended early due to business disputes and Epstein's treatment of women. The photograph with Epstein several times and running into the same circles, Trump was one of the first to break contact with Epstein because they fell out over a business deal, as we just said. There are no big shocks about Trump in the Epstein files, but there are a lot of powerful men, possibly women as well, involved in a lot of money, and it will come down to following that little dollar sign into some dark holes. For now, folks, the Department of Justice indicated that no additional prosecutions are expected in the Epstein case, including Britain's Prince Andrew, who faced allegations from Virginia Giuffre of sleeping with her when he was 17 and underage. The prince has consistently denied all charges and settled a civil lawsuit with Giuffre without admitting wrongdoing. Now, before we continue on here, folks, there's just one more thing we want to clear up a little bit here on Firm. Thank you for joining us as far as this title called Does Ghislaine Maxwell Know Answers? Well, let's take a look further, shall we? And you may recall we played recently an interview that Mr. Dershowitz, Jeffrey Epstein's attorney, spilling a lot of beans there. So we'll see what you think about this one, as we've got it a little bit more listenable, is the better way to put it, and give you a better idea as to what Mr. Dershowitz had to say about his relationship and what Jeffrey Epstein might have informed him about. Here's a replay of that interview.
There's this case of this doctor at Brown University in Rhode Island who went back overseas to attend the funeral of a Hamas leader. So again, is this very similar?
The Hezbollah leader.
Hezbollah leader. Apologies. Is that similar to what you just described, or is that in any way different case-wise?
No, I think, first of all, she lied through her teeth. What she said is, I don't follow the political teachings of Nasrallah, just his religious teachings. There is no distinction. What Nasrallah has said is that the Quran demands that you kill every Jew hiding behind every rock, that you murder every Jew, and that Israel can't exist. The idea that she believes in his religious statements but not his political statements is absolutely absurd. So, I think that going to that funeral of Nasrallah, this mass murderer, obviously shows support. Now, she's not a green card holder, so her status is much more easily disturbed. But then you have a Yale Law School professor who was hired at Yale Law School for the civil rights program, who turns out to be a shill for Iran. There are many people in this country, because Qatar pays for them and pays money, large amounts of money, usually it's dark money, to universities, and many of them accept the money on condition that they'll hire these thugs who are really agents for foreign countries. So, look, Donald Trump has a point here, and we ought not to dismiss it. And let's give the administration an opportunity to prove their case. You know, sometimes instead of saying ready, aim, fire, this administration says fire first, then ready, aim. And then when the courts come in and say, wait a minute before you fire all these people, before you deport these people, a little due process. But let's not confuse that with support for these people on the merits.
100%.
So there that goes, right down the tubes there, folks, when it comes to getting the facts straight from Jeffrey Epstein's attorney, we should say, Alan Dershowitz, you see here now. So a couple of things from Firm here, folks. Should this be revealing anything they get from Ghislaine Maxwell, this so-called big game changer, as they call it, truth bomb about the insiders? As we said, the Obamas, Hillary and Bill Clinton, maybe even Chelsea, since she's younger. And how about any communist and socialist leaders on that Epstein list? How will the American general public, meaning you, ladies and gentlemen, how will you react without the mainstream media input for a change? Does this make the world a safer place to live in? Or do these revelations do they really matter to only a couple or minuscule percentage of the entire elitist and celebrity bunch in the long run? Stay tuned for more, folks, on Firm, Fairness in Reporting Media, Mark Merrill. It'll be posted at our links, x.com. Also see under x.com, Mark M. at Firm. And also youtube.com at markmerrill6852. We have them all right here as well. As always, stay tuned for more information on all kinds of topics, folks. Not just the ones that are a little bit odd, like this one. Stay safe, everyone. Peace to all.